Over 100 years ago, the demon army of Ba Tuan invaded the divine realm. The great sage Tai Thien stood alone to block them. However, the great sage was betrayed on his own and defeated in a sneak attack. His soul was shattered into 72 pieces. The loss of the great sage forced Buddha Tixie to sacrifice himself to seal the entire demon army. With the Buddha gone, the 6 realms lost their balance. Now, all hope rests on the great sage Tai Thien, who can bring back the Buddha and restore balance to the 6 realms. In the human world at this time, 2 brothers were carrying each other, fleeing from an earthquake. The earthquake occurred because their father was fighting a demon. Seeing his sons running towards him, he used his staff to lift them to safety. He then transformed the staff into a rod and grasped the demon's hand tightly. He climbed up and used the rod to tie the demon's neck. When the demon broke free, he bit the rod into 3 pieces and created a spell. This caused the nearby stone pillars to bury the demon. Knowing he could not hold it for long, he took his sons and ran. He led his sons to a forest and down into a cave. Inside was a large relic with 2 swords on 2 stone pedestals. He instructed his elder son, Nguyen Chan, to grasp one sword and pull it out simultaneously, revealing a box. He told his son that when his younger brother, Tu Tang, grew up, he should hand it over. He entrusted the twin swords to him, believing he would become a powerful demon-subduing master and fulfill his mission. The place was about to collapse, so he ran with his son. As they ran, the seal in the cave began to appear, preventing the demon from following. But as they entered, the demon jumped down from above. The father had to use magic to make the ancient scripts on the wall fall and trap the demon. After trapping it, he threw it into the lava below. But before he could return to his sons, he was stabbed from behind by a female demon. With his last bit of strength, he performed a spell and teleported his sons away. The female demon, not wanting this to happen, rushed forward and managed to inflict a small cut below Nguyen Chan's eye before the 2 were teleported away. The father decided to entrust the fate of all beings to his sons. After a long time, Nguyen Chan has grown up. He is currently preparing for some mission with his younger brother, and this mission requires Tu Tang to wear this lizard outfit. Over there, a museum owner, who recently had their workplace disrupted by a monster, called a high monk to help resolve the situation. The owner ran ahead, leaving the high monk to handle it independently. The high monk began chanting and casting spells, causing the lizard creature to fall. Then, he skillfully beheaded the lizard. In reality, he was just play acting with his assistant, but little did he know that the person wearing the lizard costume was not his assistant but Tu Tang. The 2 brothers then captured the high monk because he had exploited his mage attire to deceive people for money. As for the assistant, they had already dealt with him and brought him out. The high monk wanted both of them to let him go because he was the type who earned money through his deceptive appearance, while Nguyen Chan had a stern face that made it difficult for others to believe he was a mage. Since he had been acting like a fraud, they decided to leave him there for others to handle. Upon returning, Nguyen Chan realized that today was the day his younger brother came of age to become a mage. He performed a ceremony for his brother and decided to pass on the precious item their father had left for Tu Tang. When they opened it, they found an iron staff inside. No one knew its purpose. Nguyen Chan only knew that their father considered it a valuable item to be passed down. Suddenly, an old man rushed over, seeking help from both mages. His village was shrouded in mist, and anyone who entered disappeared. People suspected it was the work of a supernatural cat. Although the old man offered a reward, Nguyen Chan wasn't interested, so he took his younger brother to train instead. Then, the old man accidentally dropped a purse containing a bell. When Nguyen Chan heard it, he remembered the female ghost who had killed their father. Determined to investigate, the 2 brothers ventured deeper into the thickening fog. In an instant, they lost each other. Nguyen Chan encountered a female cat demon. She continuously attacked from within the mist, forcing Nguyen Chan to take it seriously. He created a whirlwind to both attack and blow away the mist. When she was hit, she fell down and begged for mercy. Nguyen Chan wanted to know where this bell came from, but she claimed she had found it accidentally. He tried asking her more questions, but she remained uncooperative. When he turned away, she attempted to steal from him, so he swiftly drew his sword from behind and dealt with her. However, she believed that her older brother would avenge her and exchange lives. Afterward, Nguyen Chan went to find Tu Tang. The young boy, despite being scratched, stood up with a staff to fight. Nguyen Chan stayed back to observe how his younger brother would handle the situation. Tu Tang skillfully blocked attacks with his staff and countered, eventually landing a blow on the cat demon's hand. The enraged demon retaliated, swinging the staff rapidly. Just then, the iron rod that their father had entrusted to Nguyen Chan suddenly glowed. It elongated, and Tu Tang thrust the staff straight into the demon's body, causing shockwaves felt throughout the realms. It seemed that the once great Daitan was gradually reborn. The staff, now revealed as the Thietbang Staff of Daitan, and the cat is still alive because it has 9 lives. Despite wanting to escape at this moment, the staff remains firmly lodged. Simultaneously, Nguyen-chan has blocked his path here. When you ask where this bell came from, he doesn't answer. However, when the bell rings, he seems to be mesmerized and confesses. They don't know the background of the female ghost who handed them the bell, they only know that she used the bell to lure the 2 brothers out. Their sole mission was to kill any spirit masters they encountered and collect fragments of the spiritual tablet. The cat demon swelled up, threatening Tu Tang's life. Nguyen-chan stepped in to protect his brother. When they regained consciousness, the cat demon had vanished, leaving only the Thietbang staff behind. Recognizing Tu Tang's immense potential, Nguyen-chan instructed him to retrieve the staff. However, Nguyen-chan remained puzzled about the connection between the broken spiritual tablet and the female ghost who had killed their father. The Thietbang staff suddenly shrank, leaving Tu Tang bewildered. They were then confronted by 2 mysterious individuals who sought the very item Tu Tang guarded. The Ven-chan Thietbang Nguyen-chan, injured from the previous explosion, couldn't channel his energy. Tu Tang introduced himself and his brother as spirit masters entrusted by the town to eliminate cat demons. However, the enigmatic pair wasn't interested in their story, they were here solely for the Thietbang staff. Nguyen-chan drew his sword and declared that anyone wanting to take his younger brother's magical weapon would have to step over his dead body. He charged towards the 2 strangers with his sword. The girl on the other side easily used a giant gun to fling Nguyen-chan away and then pointed the gun to threaten them. However, the 2 brothers resolutely refused to hand over the heirloom left by their father. A quarrel ensued, and the older brother had to step forward to explain that they had no ill intentions. He then single-handedly treated Nguyen-chan's wounds. Even the internal injuries were completely healed. The girl said that the divine true iron tablet has always belonged to them. It is also the divine weapon of the battle-winning Buddha, the strongest warrior of their god clan. He is Sala, the messenger of the celestial tribe, and the girl is Chu Bat. After removing her mask, to their surprise, she was a beautiful girl. Sala explained that over 100 years ago, the great saint was ambushed by a traitor of the god clan and perished. The whereabouts of the true iron tablet were unknown, and now they must find the 72 soul fragments of the great saint that fell to the lower realm. Only then can he be resurrected, and the void seal be lifted to save Buddha Tathagata and restore the Buddha's teachings. The key to this lies in the true iron tablet. It can sense the soul of the great saint and is also the fragment that the cat demon mentioned. When the divine true iron tablet is awakened, it will emit a powerful wave of spiritual energy. This wave of energy can shake the essence of the spirit realm, which is how they learned of the awakening of the true iron tablet and came to find it. However, not only them, but demons and monsters can also feel it. The most dangerous are the armies of the demon king Ba Tuan. Tu Bat believes that if the demon king escapes, the world will be beyond salvation. Only by finding enough soul fragments and resurrecting the great saint can the 6 realms be returned to peace. Nguyen-chan patted his younger brother on the head and said that no matter what happens, he will always support his younger brother's decisions. Little Tang decided to hand over the Thietbang to Little Bat. However, she believed that this was a fake item, but when it passed into Little Tang's hands, it turned real gold. It seems that Thietbang has chosen Little Tang as its master, and it only awakens when in his possession. Because of this, Little Bat had to drag Little Tang along. Sala called for the spaceship Tu Bok Long to accompany Little Bat and the 2 brothers on their way to the land of immortals. Little Bat was somewhat annoyed by the mundane eating and drinking habits of the 2 brothers, but Nguyen-chan, after swallowing a large piece of food, believed that if they didn't eat their fill, they would end up as thin as sticks. Hearing this, she became even more irritated. On the way, a sudden obstacle appeared, causing the ship's navigation system to issue a collision warning. It turned out that there was an unconscious person ahead, and the ship promptly activated its safety brakes, sending the entire vessel flying and rolling a few times. Nguyen-chan opened the door. Looking around, they discovered a beautiful woman lying injured on her abdomen. He immediately brought her back onto the ship, but Little Bat argued that she didn't want to bring someone of unknown origin onto their vessel. Nguyen-chan, as a necromancer, couldn't bear to see someone dying without trying to save them. Could it be that she was jealous of the other person's better figure? Little Bat reasoned that it was strange for her to appear alone in this desolate desert. Nguyen-chan ignored Little Bat's words and assumed she was envious. After bandaging the girl's wounds, Little Bat tried to chase her away, but Nguyen-chan pushed her aside. Sala examined the girl's injuries and speculated that they were caused by a sharp knife. The girl recounted that yesterday, while passing through here, she unfortunately encountered a group of bandits. They wanted to do vile things to her, so during the struggle, she was stabbed in the abdomen by one of them. After that, she had to find a hiding place. She waited until they were far away before daring to show herself. Upon hearing this, Nguyen Chan's blood boiled with a vow to immediately punish the bandits. The girl managed to hitch a ride to the gloomy ravine because she was very afraid of encountering those wicked people. Nguyen Chan found it convenient as they were already on their way there to find the fragments of the great sage. Tu Tang could sense a fragment somewhere in the gloomy ravine. Tu Bat thought it best not to let others know about this. Meanwhile, Sala asked everyone to rest early so they could return to the gloomy ravine the next morning. The girl then revealed herself to be Tu Thursday. That night, Tu Thursday stealthily got up and used a magical ring to try to steal Tu Tang's iron tablet. Fortunately, Sala came out from bathing just in time, preventing her from acting. The next morning, when everyone woke up, the Lady Tu Thursday was nowhere to be seen. Tu Tang searched all his pockets and discovered the iron tablet had been stolen. Tu Thursday had taken the stolen iron tablet to the gloomy ravine. It turned out that her sister, Tu Yen, was being held hostage by the bandits. They threatened her to mix the divine iron tablet and bring it back. The ringleader was convinced that the divine iron tablet had awakened because he could feel its spirit getting closer day by day. In his hand was a fragment of the great sage's spirit. Its power was enough for him to destroy the entire gloomy ravine. With the divine iron tablet and the added strength of the great sage's spirit, both gods and demons in the world would obey him. He promised that once the matter was settled, he would definitely return Tu Thursday's sister to her. Meanwhile, Tu Bat was criticizing Nguyen Chan for saving a deceitful thief. At that moment, their ship had just arrived at the gloomy ravine. Sala led the entire group to the entrance of the Silk Cocoon Cave. Lin Fach, Dai Tan, and then Chan Thiat Bang were all inside the cave at this moment. Tu Thursday demanded that the leader of the bandits release their captives before she would hand over the items. After she threw out then Chan Thiat Bang, Tu Yen was also returned. Just as the two sisters were planning to leave, they were ambushed by the bandits, who blocked their path. Tu Thursday swiftly shot silk threads at the faces of the two bandits and then hurriedly led her younger sister away. The bandits set up a formation and trapped the sisters, but Nguyen Chan arrived just in time to protect them. Nguyen Chan and Tu Tang followed a trail with a distinct scent left by Tu Thursday. The bandit leader claimed that both then Chan Thiat Bang and the two sisters desired it, and Tu Yen pleaded for their release. She promised to do whatever it took. However, as soon as the bandit released the magical barrier, Tu Thursday immediately shot silk threads, narrowly missing the bandit leader's face. Tu Yen rushed forward to shield her sister and was knocked down. Feeling responsible for protecting her younger sister, Tu Yen thought it was her duty as the older sister. Nguyen Chan couldn't bear it any longer and drew his sword, attacking the bandit leader. Meanwhile, Tu Bat fired a series of shots from outside, creating a hole in the cave wall. The bandits were surprised by how quickly they were found. Tu Bat directly aimed at Tu Thursday, but Nguyen Chan intercepted the attack just in time. Tu Bat believed that Nguyen Chan had lost his mind due to being possessed by a spirit. Tu Tang had to step in to stop Tu Bat. He believed that Tu Thursday must have had hidden motives for stealing then Chan Thiat Bang. The two bandits then set up another magical barrier to absorb energy from Dai Tana's spiritual essence. Tu Tang received orders to take the two sisters away, but the thin bandit tried to block their path. Nguyen Chan warned him that one more step forward, and he would become a lost soul under Nguyen Chan's blade. The bandit leader clapped his hands, summoning 500 hidden comrades from the dark mountain crevices. However, Sala used his magical technique to create a dragon-like spout that flung the bandits out of the cave. Nguyen Chan instructed his younger brother and Tu Bat to leave, but the stubborn leader charged forward, claiming this territory as his own. Anyone who wanted to pass needed his permission. Sala then invoked celestial magic, summoning heavenly lightning to strike the leader. Sala asserted that this place belonged to them, and the two brothers quickly escorted the injured person away. On their way, Tu Thursday apologized to Tu Tang for deceiving him. Tu Tang understood that she had done it to save their sister and harbored no ill feelings. Meanwhile, Sala attempted a fire spell, but the leader deflected it using stones, channeling the power of the Dai Tana's spiritual tablet. Sala warned Tu Bat that even though he was a small part of the Dai Tan, he shouldn't be underestimated. Any attack would be ineffective if there was a connection to the spiritual tablet. However, the leader failed to realize he stood on water. Seizing the opportunity, Sala electrocuted him on the spot. Finally, the Dai Tana's spiritual tablet was reclaimed. The thin, deceitful man sought out Nguyen Chan and attacked him. From behind, countless tendrils sprouted at an astonishing speed, trapping Gwyn Chan and slowly turning him into stone. Tu Tang desperately punched the barrier to save his brother, but it was futile. Determined to protect his brother and become a spirit master, Gwyn Chan encouraged him. Just then, Tu Tang's Thiat Bang staff glowed, and his eyes changed. Tu Tang directly wielded the staff, shattering the barrier and freeing his brother. Exhausted, Gwyn Chan collapsed. The deceitful man, absorbed in the Thiat Bang, lost a hand to Gwyn Chan's sword. To his surprise, Gwyn Chan was the heir of the legendary spirit master who had once battled him. Years ago, someone had ordered him to capture the spirit master's son, the apparent father of the two brothers. He wondered if sparing their father had been a mistake. Suddenly, a bell rang, and the spirit within him emerged. Upon returning, Sala attempted to heal Tu Yen, but her injuries exceeded the magical limits. Sala requested that Tu Thursday wait until they could borrow divine-level power to heal their sister's spirit. To achieve this, they needed to abandon their current bodies and later find new vessels for resurrection. Tu Thursday reluctantly agreed, knowing no other option. Sala then bound Tu Yen's spirit within Tu Thursday's ring. The next morning, Tu Thursday asked for permission to set out with Tu Bat's group. Gwyn Chan let him go immediately because beautiful girls are always excused. Soon after, the group arrived at the next location. However, upon arrival, Tu Tang developed a fever due to the excessive heat of the place. Sala explained that this was a side effect of absorbing a soul fragment of the great saint. But not to worry, they would soon reach the local deity's place to ask for medicine. Tu Thursday then went outside in a cool outfit, which made Tu Bat increasingly irritated. But she wore it to stay cool, and if Tu Bat liked, she could just take off her outer garment. The two girls kept sniping at each other as they walked. Sala informed them that they had arrived, but Gwyn Chan was confused. The shop clearly looked like a clothing store, not the local deity's medicine shop. However, the shop's name was a play on words to deceive others. Upon entering, the local deity revealed his perverted nature and tried to entice Tu Bat to buy clothes. But she wanted him to open his eyes wide and see who she was. Recognizing her as a visiting fairy, he immediately transformed the shop into a medicine store that was only sold to immortals. Tu Bat asked him to bring out the divine beans. As soon as he did, she took a divine bean and put it into Tu Tang's mouth. The boy instantly felt much better. It was known that these divine beans had the ability to reduce magical overload and heal the original spirit, costing only 2 fairy coins. Gwyn Chan wanted to buy some, so he asked for the price in human money. 2 fairy coins converted to human currency is 2 garlic bulbs. Hearing this, Gwyn Chan was at a loss, so Sala decided to pay for him since his assets also reached 13 digits. Tu Bat questioned the local deity why the industrial furnace of the Fire City, which had been closed, was now hotter than before. The reason was that during the ancient battle between gods and demons, a hot meteorite had fallen straight into that industrial furnace. For the past 100 years, it had been as hot as midsummer every day, and it was getting hotter. It was supposed to cool down the meteorite to stop the heat. But since the old industrial furnace was destroyed, that meteorite foundation had become a new energy source for the Fire City. And now, it was being held and ruled by a demon named Hoa Ta Van, a high-ranking demon who could use fire, so the local deity could do nothing about him. Hearing this, Sala asked Tu Tang to take out the true iron tablet and spin it a few times. As he spun it, Sala detected a soul fragment near the meteorite. So, they suspected that Hoa Ta Van held it and decided to claim it. Gwyn Chan also asked to follow, so Tu Bat warned that this demon was much more difficult to deal with than the half-human, half-demon ones they faced before. But he was very confident, so she allowed him to come along. He asked Tu Thursday to take care of his younger brother and set off with the 2 great immortals. The 3 of them eventually arrived at Hoa Ta Van's lair. However, when Sala scanned the place, each level was filled with little demons. Wanting to avoid conflict, Sala decided to find an alternative route. But Gwyn Chan slashed through the walls and openly announced their arrival for an attack. As a result, a crowd of demons began to gather. Meanwhile, Little Tang was still feverish and dreamed of witnessing Dai Tan chasing away evil spirits. Then he looked at the 2 soul fragments and remembered the 2 bandits who had previously tempted him to exchange his soul for power. Despite not wanting to be left behind, he refused because acquiring dark power through such means was not honorable. Thiat Bang also chose him as the new master due to his straightforward nature. Upon waking up, he hesitated because Tu Thursday was caring for him. Accidentally dropping the Thiat Bang, Tu Thursday decided to borrow it temporarily and went outside to inquire about the land. Upon returning, she had crafted a spider silk thread, which would be more durable, eliminating the worry of it breaking. Meanwhile, Gwyn Chan's group had dealt with a considerable number of impurities, but some still argued that even though they were impure, they deserved respect. However, this time, Nguyen-chan was the central character. The entire group then entered a grand hall adorned with numerous paintings of a girl. Hoa Ta-van appeared and declared that the actors were now assembled and ready to begin the play. Nguyen-chan, confused, charged forward but was pushed back by a fiery whirlwind created by Hoa Ta-van. He believed he had no connection to the human demon-subduing masters. His only desire was to take revenge on the two great immortals, and he had waited 100 years for their arrival. When Sala demanded the fragment of the great sage's spirit, he retorted that if they wanted it, they should come and take it. As Nguyen-chan charged forward with his sword, he was blocked by the flames conjured by the adversary. He noticed that Nguyen-chan's sword could withstand the fire, indicating it was no ordinary blade, so he flung him away. Sala caught him. He believed that if the fragment of the spirit was handed over, the meteorite would cool down, and the place would no longer be hot. However, he did not like this idea. At this very moment, he only needed the blood of the two great immortals. Sala realized he intended to use forbidden magic to teleport the meteorite elsewhere, and his desired destination was the Celestial Palace. Tu-bat had to draw his cannon to shoot, but his flames were able to block it. Furthermore, he threw out chains of fire to restrain the cannon, which overheated, and Sala could not cool it down. Nguyen-chan decided to stand and fight because he knew if both of them bled here, Hoa Ta-van's purpose would be fulfilled. He drew his twin swords to block the fire and informed Tu-bat that he could still hold on, so they should go back and consult with the local deity for a strategy. Tu-bat, though reluctant, had no other choice. Meanwhile, the city of fire suddenly heated up. Everyone realized that the industrial furnace had been activated once again, and the local deity feared that the two great immortals had angered the monster. However, at this moment, only Nguyen-chan was fighting. Although his sword could block the fire, without haki, he could not strike a being who could transform into fire, like Ta-van. He believed that you chose to sacrifice yourself for the sake of those greedy immortal beings who fear death, but you only wanted to ask him for a piece of meat to take back to the cave. However, as you lunged forward, he punched you, sending you flying backward. He intended to cremate your efforts up until now. Fortunately, Sala and Tu-bat returned just in time to block the blow and assist you. Sala sustained injuries and left behind some blood as he departed. Ta-van had obtained what he wanted, so he activated forbidden magic and lifted a massive meteorite. As the group exited the area, they saw him raising the meteorite quite high. Now, they couldn't stop him because the celestial beings here could only use half their powers. Tu-bat worried that he would release the meteorite toward the Celestial Palace, but Sala assured them that the Celestial Palace would be safe. The meteorite's structure had changed significantly, so it would disintegrate into smaller pieces before reaching the palace. Unfortunately, that's exactly what happened. Ta-van remained clueless, while Sala thought about consulting the Earth deity for a solution. At this moment, Tu-Thursday wanted Tu-Tang to seek refuge because her brothers would be fine. However, before he could leave, Tu-Tang suddenly turned back. He noticed a little girl sitting and crying, searching for her mother. Tu-Tang rushed to help her find her mother, assuming she might be waiting at their hiding place. But suddenly, a house collapsed, forcing Tu-Thursday to use her silk threads to shield them. Later, they reunited with Tu-bat's group and followed the Earth deity to their refuge. Upon arrival, the Earth deity assured Tu-Tang that Nguyen-chan was safe because he had consumed the celestial bean. However, due to his serious injuries, Tu-Tang would need to wait for some time. Sala wondered how Ta-van could avoid controlling the meteorite for 100 years. The Earth deity explained that it was thanks to a fire realm artifact called the Frozen Core. Although everything in this fire realm was hidden, Tu-bat knew that the core was located beneath Ta-van's tower. There's something they want now, to retrieve the Frozen Core. To do so, they need to infiltrate and steal it. Everyone looks at Tu-Thursday, but she has vowed not to steal anymore unless she wants her younger sister to suffer. However, the Earth deity insists that the Frozen Core originally belongs to the divine race, so this time she's merely reclaiming it, not stealing. If he's wrong, he'll suffer tenfold compared to her. Tu-Thursday then sneaks into Ta-van's tower through the ventilation ducts. She notices two guards watching the security cameras. She removes a ventilation panel and throws it at one guard's head, then restrains the other. After observing the cameras, she heads to the changing room of a high-ranking staff member and threatens her to obtain information about the Frozen Core's location. Now aware of the location and needing a key card to access it, she approaches the girl who reveals the key card is in her purse. But as she turns, the girl counterattacks. Undeterred, Tu-Thursday restrains her against the wall. The girl remains defiant, refusing to reveal anything even if it costs her life. Tu-Thursday decides to subject her to a different kind of experience. Meanwhile, Hoa Ta-van has gone mad, hurling fire everywhere to buy time until Thursday returns. Tu-bat and Sala decide to engage Ta-van outside to keep him occupied. Both of them entrust Nguyen-chan to Tu-tang and the old earth deity for care. The young girl asks Tu-tang why her older siblings are outside in such danger. He explains that they're protecting others. But who will protect them? Meanwhile, Thursday has obtained the passcode information and reached the location of the frozen core. As she takes a step forward, an alarm blares. Suddenly, a combat robot appears to block her path. 100 years ago, on a train, Hoa Ta-van helped a girl catch a thief. They became friends and eventually developed a close relationship. Soon after their wedding, news arrived of a war between the demon and divine races. His wife worried, but he believed the celestial beings would protect them. However, on that fateful day, a massive meteorite struck, destroying their home and taking his wife forever. Since then, he harbored a deep grudge against the divine race for causing the meteorite to fall and breaking their promise to protect the city. Back in the present, Tu-bat and Sala confront him. He hurls insults, accusing the celestial beings of hypocrisy. Tu-bat doesn't understand his words, but he relentlessly attacks both of them. But Xiaoxing's shield flew in to block the attack for both of them. Xiaoxing then arrived and believed that Ta-van was destroying the city that he had built single-handedly. However, all he is doing now is seeking revenge. He wants to avenge his wife, who died under the rubble caused by the meteorite. At that very moment, he gained power from the fragment of the great sage's spirit. His reconstruction of the Fire City now serves his purpose of revenge. If Xiaoxing does not understand, he should ask the two great immortals who are responsible for the meteorite thrown into the Fire City that day. Sala felt guilty but eventually revealed that the Demon King had thrown the meteorite into the Fairy Palace. Since there was no other way, the Fairy Palace erected a barrier to change the meteorite's orbit, causing it to fall into the human world, and unfortunately, it struck the Fire City. Xiaoxing was shocked to hear this, while Ta-van believed that the fairies claim to want to save all beings. But when trouble arises, they use humans as scapegoats. He then became angry, and if he now kills Xiao Ba and apologizes to Sala, would you forgive him? Of course not. After that, when he attacked Xiao Ba, Xiaoxing erected a barrier to block him. He thinks that if his revenge causes the entire city to fall into great disaster, he is no different from the fairies he despises. Xiaoxing believes he should use his power to keep this place prosperous, but he refuses and transforms into a giant beast to punch Xiaoxing away. Meanwhile, Thursday has dealt with the robot and proceeds to retrieve the freezing core. But it is too cold, freezing even her threads. Then, a wave of energy was released. Ta-van was about to deal with Xiaoxing when he felt the energy wave and decided to turn back. He fired a move to block all three's path and then fled. Xiaoxing managed to block with his staff in time and decided to chase after Xiao Ba, thinking he was seeking death, but he wanted to go save people. Sala knew he couldn't stop it, so he gave him a bit of his remaining strength to help him move forward. Meanwhile, Thursday noticed that Nguma Vong had arrived to take the cold copper core. Armed with frost-resistant armor, Nguma Vong held the core securely, but Ta-van returned and wanted to reclaim it. Nguma Vong naturally refused, transforming into a leg form and tossing Ta-van aside before lunging at him with a strike. Afterward, Nguma Vong took both the ice core and a soul fragment to depart, but Thiat Bang attacked him, knocking away the two things he had just acquired. The soul fragment was absorbed by a staff, which gradually drained Nguma Vong's life force. Nguma Vong then threw Tu-tang, intending to swing his axe, but Thursday rushed to save him. In the process, Nguma Vong's hand was severed because he couldn't separate Thiat Bang. He vowed to return and left temporarily. However, at that moment, the largest meteorite shard began to fall. Ta-van explained that he needed to shatter the core to prevent this catastrophe. Without hesitation, he struck it, successfully freezing the entire fortress and causing the meteorite shard to shatter due to the extreme temperature difference. Ta-van regretted not avenging his wife, but she appeared and assured him that he had protected the city. With that settled, Tu-tang, exhausted, collapsed against Thursday's thigh. A few days later, the group set off for the Saha River, or Lu Saha, to fully heal Nguyen-chan. Despite trying to appear fine, Nguyen-chan was far from it. Thursday sweet-talked him into resting, and Tu-tang even borrowed her thigh for a nap. Tu-tang thanked Sala for saving Nguyen-chan in the fiery fortress. However, Sala had been acting strangely during the journey, colder than usual. He revealed that the desolate Saha town lay ahead, where the broken-down ship's engine had forced them to stop. Sala checked it while Nguyen-chan and Tu-tang sensed that he had something on his mind throughout the trip. Tu-bat mentioned that this place used to be Sala's base, and if it weren't for Nguyen-chan's treatment, Sala might never have returned. Everyone wanted to hear more, but Tu Bat didn't want to dig into Sala's past. Nguyen Chan believed that young men often grieved for love or money. Sala is not short of money, so he is surely sorrowful over love. After that, the two brothers went outside to inquire and try to find Sala's whereabouts. He mentioned that the white dragon could not move because it was damaged, and there is a mine nearby. Inside, there will be spirit stones that can replace the damaged parts. Nguyen Chan wanted Sala to share his innermost feelings, but he said that his personal matters did not need their interference. Sala once had a mission here, he had his own team, and everyone was very happy and harmonious with each other. However, now he can only find the iron helmet of his teammate here. Sala has been gone for quite a while, so Xiaoba started to worry. But Nguyen Chan was still upset that he took his kindness for granted. Xiao Tang thought that Sala was worried about Nguyen Chan's wound, so he did not let him go. Nguyen Chan still spoke ill of Sala, so Xiaoba thought that if they knew nothing about Sala, they should not talk nonsense. At this moment, he had arrived in front of the mine, and the images of his teammates gradually came back. He went inside, and the past was projected once again. That year, the entire Sala team entered here, but there were no miners left. Going deeper, everyone discovered that a bloody event must have taken place here. The path leading down looked very dangerous, but Sala detected signs of life below. Some people just thought that the miners had escaped down there, so they chose to go down. A few were hesitant, but Sala decided to go down and check the situation. When they went down, they encountered many undead, and no matter how much they shot, the creatures did not die. One of the team members was scratched on the leg by an undead, so the team had to find a way to escape first. However, the blood that fell suddenly formed a magic circle. The team found a room to temporarily hide in. Sala had the blonde kid send a distress signal. The magic circle outside was now complete, and the undead had also disappeared. The distress signal has been sent, and now they can only wait for someone to come and help. Suddenly, a monster crashed through the wall and took the life of the blonde-haired boy. This creature is a Feti beast, a carnivorous species from the underworld, known for its ferocity and formidable strength. Even the celestial beings are wary of it. Tu Bat decided to continue the story about Sala's team, and that's when Bok Long pinpointed his location. At that moment, Sala was collecting crystals when he stumbled upon the ancient spell. Back then, he had no idea about the existence of this phenomenon. It was precisely because of that spell that the monster appeared, and now that Sala has returned, the creature has resurfaced as well. He drew his weapon to fight because it was the very creature that had killed his entire team. In that year, he tried to save the sole survivor, but that person insisted he leave and take the information away. They knew Sala couldn't defeat the monster and save anyone else besides himself. However, even after crushing its head with a stone pillar, it wasn't enough. Sala eventually collapsed from exhaustion, while his last remaining teammate chose to sacrifice themselves alongside the monster. Now, he reunites with his old comrades. They don't blame him, they believe he couldn't have made it here sooner. Sala needs to investigate the cause of the magical phenomenon's reappearance, and his teammates need him. As he regains consciousness, he realizes the entire group is already here. They asked Bok Long to trace a signal, and that's how they found him near an unfamiliar creature. The monster has captured Nguyen Chan's head, forcing Tu Thursday to hold it back. Little Bat climbed onto its head to shoot, but it always threw him off to the side. Suddenly, Sala stepped forward alone. Afterward, he intended to use a technique to deal with the monster, but Little Tang erected a barrier to protect everyone, including Sala. Then, Sala enlarged the Thiat Bang to pierce a hole in the ceiling, allowing sunlight to shine through and incinerate the monster into ashes. Sala later paid tribute to the four teammates, vowing to uncover the secret behind their teleportation ability. Now, he has trustworthy comrades to fight alongside. After the recent battle, Tu Thursday had to care for Nguyen Chan more, but she didn't allow him to be pampered as before. Instead, she insisted he wait until they reached the Saha River, where he would naturally recover. However, Tu Bat wasn't as gentle. She continuously prodded his wound, causing Nguyen Chan to cry out in pain. Tu Tang asked Sala about the functioning of the energy crystal, and he assured her it was still working well. He thanked Tu Tang, acknowledging that without her intervention, he would have been buried in that mine shaft. Nguyen Chan also wanted Sala to share his feelings, emphasizing that they were all teammates. Sala playfully called Tu Bat a pink pig, which infuriated her, and she retaliated by kicking him. Later, Sala revealed that they had arrived at the Saha River. This desert river had its own unique story, but I'll skip the details. In essence, it attracted supernatural beings who prayed for their wishes to come true, mainly longevity and the fulfillment of desires. The current desolation was due to heightened security after a past mining incident, making it difficult for ordinary people to reach this place. The two brothers then went for a swim, and Nguyen Chan's wound was visibly healing. Suddenly, they noticed someone nearby. Nguyen Chan told his younger brother to go ashore first, while he himself went to inquire about the other person. He went ashore and asked what the other person was doing there, but received no reply. When Xiaoxing brought his belongings, he suspected that the person might be deaf-mute, so he did not bother him anymore and left. However, when the person saw Xiaoxing's twin sabers, he remembered that he had once fought with the previous owner of these sabers. That person was Tai Tian, the strongest necromancer, who had given him the scar on his face. But Nguyen Chan did not know the man named Tai Tian because his father was Nguyen Tam. He had received these from his father, but the man thought the sabers belonged to Tai Tian. If he had no relation to Tai Tian but still wanted to use the twin sabers, he had to become the strongest necromancer. His desire was also to become the strongest necromancer, so he could not avoid this fight. Xiaoxing stepped forward to intervene, thinking there must be some misunderstanding. The Xiaoba group then ran over, thinking that a fight was about to break out between the two sides. Xiaoxing explained to both parties, and Tu Thursday recognized that he was the owner of the Black Bone Long Sword, the strongest swordsman of the demon race. Knowing him, Tu Thursday assumed that Nguyen Chan was now injured and could not fight at full strength against him. So, he watched over Nguyen Chan until dawn for him to bathe in the river and recover. If they did not come to fight by morning, he would deal with the whole group. After returning to the ship to discuss, Tu Thursday told them the legend that all stories about the Black Bone Swordsman indicated that he was the archenemy of the Demon King. In the past, because of his obsession with swordsmanship, he had taken the Demon King's treasure to forge into his sword, angering the Demon King who came to settle the score. But for generations, the Demon Kings had been defeated by him. Hearing this, the chances of Nguyen Chan's victory were almost zero. However, he had the twin necromancer sabers. If the man had once been defeated by the necromancer Tai Tian and these twin sabers, then if he could unleash the power of the twin sabers, he also had a chance to defeat the Black Bone Swordsman. Theoretically, that was the case, but they still did not know what the risks were. Xiaoba thought they should let Sala use teleportation magic to escape, but Blackbone had previously set up a sensing barrier, so they would be pursued by him anyway. Xiaoxing believed that now they should run to buy time and gradually become stronger. If you just collect more spiritual fragments, you can also assist Nguyen Chan in battle. However, you think that even if they can escape now, what if they encounter someone stronger? They can't keep running forever. In the past, every time, our father advised both brothers to flee while he stayed and fought, always returning. Until the moment he was murdered, he still told both of them to run. Because they kept running, our father was still pursued by vengeful spirits. But Tu Tang doesn't want to see his brother constantly risking danger and getting hurt like before. However, Nguyen Chan has followed our father's advice and protected his younger brother until now. But Tu Tang doesn't need his brother's protection, he wants to leave. Afterward, Nguyen Chan had to bathe in the river to recover. Tu Thursday went down with him and noticed the many scars on his back. But he believes those are symbols of a warrior's achievements. However, she thinks this is evidence that he protected Tu Tang. Now, he realizes that his younger brother has also grown up and no longer needs his protection. But Tu Tang just doesn't want to lose him. She and Tu Yen have also leaned on each other. She had to resort to all sorts of tricks to keep her younger sister safe, only for her sister to leave because of her. She understands how it feels to lose a loved one, so she asks Nguyen Chan not to be reckless and let Tu Tang experience that pain like she did. The next morning, Nguyen Chan had fully recovered. Sala had given him a little extra strength to increase his speed. For a period of time, he was confident that he wouldn't lose because while his power might be surpassed, his determination and courage wouldn't be. Even if the enemy was 10 times stronger, he would fight back with 100,000 times the courage. Long ago, Nguyen Chan saw a pair of twin swords that our father kept at home. He asked whose swords these were, and our father explained that only the chosen spirit masters could use these swords. Thus, Nguyen Chan decided to become the demon fighting master his father spoke of, to fight and eradicate demons alongside him. Back in the present, even though he held the twin demon fighting swords, standing before the Black Bone Swordsman, Nguyen Chan was no different than Zoro before Mihawk. Every move he made was seen through and blocked by him. No matter how fast he ran, he was still seen and blocked. He managed to land a hit, but the silk armor made by Tu Thursday blocked it for him. However, the Black Bone Swordsman charged again and stabbed directly, causing him to be hit despite the protective armor. Sala noticed that although Nguyen Chan's sword and speed were faster, the Black Bone's longer sword still gave him an advantage. His father had also taught him lessons for such situations before. He said that during practice, one could complain about the length difference, but in real combat, who would listen to such complaints? When he turned to run, his father chased him, but he unexpectedly counterattacked by tying a rope to his sword to throw it for a long-range attack. However, this little trick was seen and countered by his father, who then made him practice swordsmanship until nightfall. And then at night, he was attacked by a swarm of bats. They continuously bit him, making him wonder why, despite their shorter reach, they were not afraid and still managed to hit him. And so, he realized that the path to attack was important. The next morning, he defeated the swarm of bats and continued to practice with his father. This time, he managed to corner his father and counter the longer reach of his attacks. Therefore, now he kicked up sand to blind and then rushed to close in on the black bone to attack. He managed to clamp down on his sword and counterattack, making him acknowledge that Nguyen Chan was worthy of a serious fight. Afterward, he pushed Nguyen Chan away and infused darkness into his sword, while also unleashing the 100 Demons Night Walk to attack him. He continuously attacks, causing the armor to crumble under the assault. The armor shattered early, and he knew he truly couldn't fight back against Hat Kot years ago. During training, he heard that a bear was attacking, so he ran to find his father. However, his father had disappeared, so he took a desperate gamble, grabbed his twin swords, and went in search of the bear. As he lunged forward to attack, the bear knocked him aside, forcing him to throw snow to disorient it. At this moment, he felt utterly powerless against Hat Kot. Without proper armor, he continued to create sandstorms for the other person to strike. The other person believed that only the strong could protect others, while the weak were merely a waste of life. Back then, when Nguyen Chan faced a similar situation, he almost lost his sanity to the twin swords. But his father arrived just in time to prevent him from becoming further possessed. His father informed the bear that it had been returned to its den, so it should hibernate. Curious, he asked his father why the Phuc Ma Sues sword caused users to be consumed by fire and enter a trance. His father explained that the Sigma-infused sword required a struggle for control when blood was used to activate it. The winner would fully possess both the sword and the wielder. Now, Nguyen Chan decided to employ that dangerous method once more. He offered his own blood to the sword as an offering, gaining immense strength to battle Hat Kot, the sword master. He acknowledged that this was the fight he sought, but his current power was still only a fraction of Tai Thien's from long ago. During the clash with Tai Thien, the latter argued that persistently fighting would prevent Hat Kot from finding closure in his journey. Rather than blindly pursuing combat, why not choose peace? But Hat Kot remained adamant that only the strong could survive in this world. Now, with a single swing of his sword, he sent Nguyen Chan plunging into the river. He urged Nguyen Chan to continue releasing his aura, unaware that Nguyen Chan was now completely under the control of the malevolent spirit, while those outside still believed he was growing stronger, oblivious to the inner struggle. He then advanced toward the group, and everyone warned him that the enemy was on the other side. They asked why he was running over here. In response, he brandished his sword, ready to attack, forcing them all to dodge. In Nguyen Chan's eyes, everyone was a shadow. He charged at Tu Thursday, compelling Sala to use an ice spell to freeze Nguyen Chan. Meanwhile, Tu Tang approached to check on her brother but was swatted away by him. Hat Kot had to rush forward and stab Nguyen Chan's hand to wake him up. Eventually, they carried him to meet the twin swords. In that moment, Nguyen Chan glimpsed memories of the past. His father and Tai Thien had some connection. They once arrived in a destitute town where the inhabitants suffered from hunger and illness. The town was plagued by Sun Kui, mountain demons, and Tai Thien blamed himself for arriving late. However, it wasn't too late to confront the approaching Sun Kui and protect the people. After single-handedly dealing with the demons, Tai Thien climbed the mountain and reached the Sun Kui lair. There, he encountered small demons. The elderly demon bowed, pleading for mercy for the young ones. These demons had resorted to capturing humans out of desperation due to hunger. Although filled with disgust, Tai Thien left to reunite with Nguyen Tom. He asked her why they fought, and she explained that their duty was to eradicate evil spirits and help the people. Tai Thien, however, believed he couldn't truly help anyone. Now, he fought against other tribes to protect his own people. The cycle of violence weighed heavily on him. Realizing that true change required breaking this cycle, Tai Thien decided to leave. He ventured into the spirit realm to find the Ma Vang, Demon King, but upon arrival, he discovered that Hat Kot had already wiped out the entire demon army. Hat Kot sensed the many lives Tai Thien's sword had claimed and recognized him as the strongest among humans. They dueled, while Nguyen Tom led the townspeople to safety. After a long time, Tai Thien returned, visibly aged. He entrusted Tu Tang to Nguyen Tom's care, along with the twin swords, hoping they would be wielded by the children she raised. Nguyen Chan had awakened by now, and Hat Kot spared him because Tai Thien had once spared Hat Kot's life. Hat Kot wanted Nguyen Chan to become a worthy necromancer, capable of wielding the twin swords. Everyone rejoiced that Nguyen Chan was safe. He decided to have breakfast and share the story with everyone. That afternoon, Xiaoxing was also surprised to find out that his father and Tai Tian knew each other. He suspected that their acquaintance was related to the fact that his father left the shield for him. Currently, there is no information, so Nguyen Chan thinks that for now, they both need to find all the spirit fragments. When that time comes, everything will become clear. The group then pondered where to go next. Xiaoba thought of a place but then fell silent, not naming it. It seemed to be called something like Fong something. The two brothers then asked Sala and found out that the place Xiaoba was referring to is Fong Con City, the only fairy city in the lower realm, known for its high civilization, science, and technical level. Hearing this, the brothers decided to visit the city. At Fong Con City. At that time, Prince Tian Hu was holding a bride selection ceremony, but despite thousands of ladies, he still hadn't found one to his liking. All the beautiful ladies were rejected, and the steward called in the 1,000th person. From the outside, she seemed appealing, but when she removed her face covering, Tian Hu turned pale. He had to run away from the palace. He refused to choose any lady to bring home as his bride. It was because he already had the image of a girl in his heart. He was described perfectly, but the result was actually Xiao Ba. Now it's clear why Xiao Ba was afraid to return here. Meanwhile, Xiao Ba kept sighing and reconsidering, thinking that there might be nothing interesting in Fong Con City. Nguyen Chan was training his younger brother, but then Xiaoxing ran into the cockpit and reported that the shield was reacting to Fong Con City. So whether Xiao Ba wants to or not, she will still have to go there. Upon arriving at Fong Con City, everyone was overwhelmed by its vastness and the numerous guards. Anyone who wants to enter must go through immigration. The entire Nguyen Chan group was scanned by a robot and met the requirements to enter. Shortly after entering, the city announced that the city lord, Tian Hu, would hold a wedding ceremony in 3 days, so the festival would begin now. Upon hearing this, Tu Bat decided to make a trip to witness the wedding. As the group passed by a market, Tu Tang received free peaches from an elderly lady because during this festival, people could eat whatever they liked. However, Tu Bat wanted to know the wedding venue and who the bride was. Everyone immediately noticed that Tu Bat was acting strangely today, sometimes reluctant, other times appearing confused. Despite this, the group thought that if they could attend the banquet and meet the city lord, they might learn more about the spiritual fragments. But now, the challenge was how to sneak into the wedding to meet the city lord. Before they could figure it out, suddenly soldiers arrived, wanting to escort the group to meet the city lord because he considered them honored guests. Nguyen Chan believed that their reputation had preceded them, but Tu Bat seemed melancholic. The group was then treated to a sumptuous meal, and the two main characters, the brothers, ate heartily. Tian Hu also came to meet them and encouraged them to eat freely without any formalities. So, the two brothers continued eating. Sala stood up to introduce himself. He expressed his desire to meet Tian Hu's father, but Tian Hu explained that his father was currently in meditation. He would only be present at the wedding in 3 days. Therefore, for the next 3 days, the group could enjoy themselves, and Sala didn't need to bring a wedding gift since they had already brought the bride. Everyone realized that Tu Bat was the bride, and she didn't intend to deny it. However, when Tian Hu approached her to prepare for the wedding, she resisted. So, Tian Hu reminded her of their past. Back when they were students, Tian Hu, being a celestial being living in the mortal realm, was bullied by other children. Tu Bat stood up to protect him, and as a result, Tian Hu proposed that she become his bride. At that time, Tu Bat didn't fully understand the situation but agreed. Now, she regretted it and wanted to cancel the wedding. She revealed that she had orchestrated the bullying incidents to extort money from Tian Hu. Despite hearing the truth, he still foolishly chose to marry Xiao Ba. He believed that she returned here to fulfill a promise and to meet him again. Nguyen Chan looked clearly bored, but he also agreed that Xiao Ba truly came back to meet him. The reason he said so, despite it being clear that Xiao Ba did not want to, was because their purpose in coming here was to meet Tian Hu's father. If the wedding was cancelled now, he would not show up. Thus, Tu Thursday also joined in the wedding celebration. Sala signaled to Xiao Ba to make her understand the issue, so she reluctantly let it go. She then asked where her room was, and Tian Hu led the group away. Nguyen Chan then asked for permission to go out for a walk. The purpose was still to try using the iron tablet to find the spirit fragment of the great saint. The group then arranged to split up and search. Tu Thursday did not know whether Xiao Ba was ready to stay here and become a wife, but the other three unanimously said it was impossible. The iron tablet then reacted, so the group quickly went to check it out. That night, Xiao Ba tried to be patient, waiting for the moment when they found the spirit fragment and met Tianhu's father so she could leave. But at that moment, Tianhu held onto the spirit fragment and promised not to let Xiao Ba leave. The next morning, Tu Thursday and Nguyen Chan were walking around the city to investigate when Tu Thursday spotted a girl about to be robbed, and just a few seconds later, a robbery occurred right on the street. Nguyen Chan stepped forward to stop the thief but was thrown to the ground. He was then mistaken for the thief because he was wearing the girl's stolen bracelet. He was caught by the guards, and Tu Thursday had to inform the guards that they were guests of Tianhu and requested them to check the records. But after checking, the guards found that both were illegal immigrants and chased after them. Meanwhile, Xiao Tang and Sala were following the directions of the iron tablet and then left the city. The signal suddenly disappeared, so the two returned, but the city had suddenly closed its gates. They tried to reach it but were too late and were left outside. An old man was also left outside with both of them. He said he urgently needed to return to give medicine to his child. Tu Tang tried to call the security to open the door, but they refused. Suddenly, the old man mentioned another passage, leading both of them there to explore. He showed them a secret tunnel that he claimed to have seen when he was young, descending below. Sala found this place unfamiliar. The passage was suddenly blocked by a magical barrier, but it didn't seem to resist celestial beings like Sala. He decided to test it and touched the pile of characters, only to be pricked by a hidden needle. However, this allowed him to help the other two cross the barrier. As they ascended from the underground chamber, they stumbled upon a tavern and had to pretend to be staff. But the tavern employees alerted the guards, forcing both of them to flee. Tu Tang noticed that the old man had disappeared. As they ran, they became fugitives throughout the city. Meanwhile, Tu Bat was getting ready in her wedding attire for a photo shoot. She wanted to stall, but at this point, she had to ask why he chose to marry her despite her deception. He finally revealed the truth: he had spread rumors about his wealth to impress her. He intentionally manipulated bullying incidents to make her pay attention to him. When Tu Bat threatened to cancel the wedding, he confessed. She admitted that she was here to find the fragment of Dai Tana's soul. Both sides decided to be honest with each other, and Tianhu embraced Tu Bat for a wedding photo. He later published this image throughout the city. Sala studied the photo, reflecting on recent events. He realized Tu Bat was in danger, while Nguyen Chan was being framed. Tu Bat demanded the photo be deleted, but she suddenly lost control due to the power from the soul fragment that Tianhu held. Tu Thursday and Nguyen Chan disguised themselves as elegant individuals, targeting two unsuspecting men sitting nearby, the same men who had received wedding invitations. Tu Thursday approached them, engaging in conversation and awakening their simp instincts. She gradually lowered her thread onto the table, attaching it to the invitation and trapping the remaining man's head in the string Nguyen Chan held. Two men are competing for the privilege of accompanying the beautiful woman. When they return to look, the invitation letter is missing, and Tu Thursday has disappeared as well. Both of them conveniently obtain tickets to enter the gate. Tu Thursday advises him to find a way to explain the twin swords if they undergo inspection. He thinks he'll claim to be a weapons merchant and show the merchandise to Tianhu. That way, Tu Thursday can pose as the merchant's wife. Meanwhile, Sala and Tu Tang have been captured and thrown into prison. Sala deceives the guards, claiming that Tu Bat suffers from a heat-induced illness and needs treatment to avoid an outbreak. During the wedding, the soldiers review information and realize that Sala was present at the same time as Tu Bat. They inform Tianhu, who is busy preparing for the ceremony. Upon hearing the news, Tianhu instructs Tu Bat to stay put and wait for him. He then heads to the prison alone. Inside, he subdues and manipulates Sala's mind. He intends to do the same with Tu Tang, but midway, her inner strength reverses the process, forcing him to release her. Realizing that both should have stayed outside the city for safety, rather than venturing into danger, he leaves. Just then, Sala unexpectedly rises and attacks Tu Tang. She uses a staff to block and eventually knocks Sala unconscious against the wall. Now uncertain about Nguyen Chan and Tu Thursday's whereabouts, Tu Tang hears a resonant voice in her head. It reveals that she harbors latent energy, but its dark nature surpasses even the original Dai Tana's strength. Tu Tang remains skeptical. She awakens from these visions and resolves to find a way out. She raises an alarm for the soldiers to investigate, eventually overpowering the guards and escaping. However, as she wanders, Tu Tang realizes she's trapped in a maze. An elderly man nearby informs her that she can break free. Initially suspicious, she discovers he is none other than Tianhu's father. He had imprisoned his own father here, plotting to seize the throne. Aware of Tu Tang's Thiat Bang, she believes he is the true culprit. At that moment, Tian Hu had returned to Xiao Ba, believing she would stay there forever with him. Xiao Xing had used the shield to open the prison cell. He then went in and helped the city lord unlock the handcuffs. The city lord was very grateful to Xiao Xing and decided to expose the rebellious Tian Hu, and both sneaked into the palace. Xiao Xing tried to enter first but was caught midway and recognized as a wanted criminal. Just as the city lord was about to be discovered, a cloud of smoke spread, and Nguyen Chan and Tu Thursday came to Xiao Xing's aid. He was delighted to see his brother again and introduced him to the two, saying this was the city lord they had come to meet. Xiao Xing informed them of the crimes committed by Tian Hu and that Sala seemed to have been brainwashed. The group suspected that Xiao Ba had also been affected by this spell, which is why she agreed to the wedding. The city lord revealed that this was a power caused by the fragment of the spirit. Nguyen Chan drew his sword and asked the city lord if he recognized this pair of twin sabers. He recognized them and knew they belonged to the necromancer Tai Tian. Hearing this, Nguyen Chan was sure he was genuine and wanted to disguise both of them to enter the wedding ceremony. Both groups then tied up two more guests to take their clothes for disguises. Nguyen Chan knew a battle was imminent, and he would save the two immortals. The group then successfully infiltrated the wedding feast undetected. While Tu Thursday went to gather more information, Nguyen Chan's group divided the tasks. Soon, he and the city lord would stand up to cause chaos and duel with Tian Hu, while the other two would look for Sala. But Sala was already at the wedding. The city lord then directed Nguyen Chan to challenge Tian Hu to a one-on-one duel, while he would soon make his presence known to draw the guests' attention. As soon as the plan was made, Tian Hu and Xiao Ba took the stage just as the steward was reading the vows for the two, but Nguyen Chan stood up in opposition. The steward had anticipated this situation, so he prepared to fight for both sides. Nguyen Chan misunderstood that he was there to abduct the bride. When introduced as the bride abductor due to his time spent with Tu Bat, which led to romantic feelings, Nguyen Chan felt like arguing. However, arguing seemed pointless, so he decided to fight instead. Meanwhile, the city lord and Tu Tang were trying to reach Tu Bat and hoped to break the spell controlling her, but Nguyen Chan immediately rushed toward Tian Hu. Tu Thursday went to Sala to wake him up. Sala reluctantly slapped Sala to wake him, but there was still no reaction. Without Tian Hu noticing, Sala attacked. Tian Hu retaliated, forcing Tu Thursday out of the fight. He then returned to the battle, much to Tu Thursday's annoyance. Despite the distance, he could still control the situation. Nguyen Chan taunted him, pointing out that while he demanded to marry Tu Bat, his eyes were on another girl. Tian Hu wouldn't tolerate anyone disrespecting his love, so he began wielding his weapon. He enhanced his blade, striking Nguyen Chan, who was immediately frozen by the wound. The city lord explained that each weapon created here had a special enchantment. Tian Hu's blade could freeze opponents' wounds, as demonstrated. Both tried to wake Tu Bat, but her mind was deeply locked. Tu Tang wanted the city lord to intervene sooner, but he believed it wasn't the right time and asked for trust. Tian Hu criticized Nguyen Chan's cheap pair of swords compared to his own staff. However, Nguyen Chan's twin swords had previously defeated opponents stronger than Tian Hu. He lunged at Tian Hu, who countered and stabbed him. Tian Hu followed up with more attacks, kicking Nguyen Chan into the air. Despite lacking power, Nguyen Chan broke free from the ice and resumed fighting. He successfully wounded Tian Hu, proving that humans could defeat celestial beings. Both continued battling, creating a dusty haze on the arena floor. Eventually, they both collapsed simultaneously, the victor still unclear. But this was also the opportunity for Xiao Tang and the city lord to stand up and explain. No one believed Xiao Tang when he spoke, but everyone was surprised when the city lord stepped forward. He revealed all of Tian Hu's crimes, from plotting a rebellion and imprisoning him to colluding with foreign merchants. Pushing the old lady into the sea? In short, his crimes were heinous. Tian Hu tried to argue, claiming his father was the real traitor. But the soldiers listened to the city lord, not him. Out of options, Tian Hu thrust his spear into the ground, causing the surrounding area to freeze. However, Yuan Zhan still stood firm. After that blow, he rushed forward and slashed at Tian Hu's leg, only to be stabbed in return. Tian Hu thought the battle for Xiaoba had ended. But Yuan Zhan believed he was now fighting to protect the entire Fengsong city. Tian Hu still insisted they had been deceived by his father. At that moment, the city lord had a seizure. The witch from the past officially appeared to meet Yuan Zhan's group. She had long possessed the city lord. Since he could no longer control her, he had asked Tian Hu to imprison him. He wanted Tian Hu to master the power from the spirit and maintain the city's barrier, protecting it from now on. The city lord would sacrifice himself to contain her, but now she had escaped his body. Tianhu wanted Yuan Zhan to step aside, but he was furious. She was the one who had killed his father, the one he hated most. She had belittled his father, calling him an insect beneath her feet. Moreover, she taunted him about the scar she had given him, which enraged him further. In his anger, he charged at her, but she pulled Xiao Tang in front to shield herself, causing him to hesitate. Seizing the opportunity, she let Xiao Tang strike him with a stick. Tianhu also rushed up, but she dodged in time. She claimed that their common enemy was on the fighting platform above. Looking up, Xiao Tang was surprised to see the old man who had guided him and Sala. The man then suddenly transformed into the monster that the brothers' father had fought that day. It dragged Tianhu and Yuan Zhan back to the platform. Now, both had to join forces to fight against this demon. One faced a new enemy, while the other confronted an old foe. The demon's attack forced them to split up and then charge in to attack both. He saw this formidable monster, which was incredibly powerful and not easy to deal with. Tianhu's ice abilities were useless against it. Tianhu had to infuse a piece of spiritual essence into his weapon to enhance his strength for the confrontation. The monster was truly injured, but then it threw ice wildly and flew toward Xiao Bat. Tianhu had to break the ice to protect her. However, the female demon had another trick up her sleeve. She made the demon jump to their location, leaving both of them bewildered. They couldn't predict that the demon would leap to attack Xiao Bat. Tianhu rushed forward to protect her, even though he was severely wounded by the demon's claws. He managed to stab the demon with his weapon. Nguyen also charged at the demon to buy some time. But during this time, Xiao Bat questioned why Tianhu had taken such risks. He regretted forcing her to stay here. It seemed like karma, as Xiao Bat reminded him of their promise. She had been hesitant about meeting him. Tianhu then entrusted the spiritual essence to Xiao Bat and wanted her to protect herself in his place. The female demon also seemed interested in the spiritual essence and had her own agenda. When she noticed Thiat Bang's reaction, Tianhu decided to leave. However, the female demon seized the opportunity to take the spiritual essence. Nguyen demanded it back, but Xiao Bat went berserk and started firing randomly. Fortunately, the protective barrier shielded both Xiao Tang and the female demon. Xiao Bat eventually collapsed from exhaustion, while Nguyen realized that everyone was incapacitated, so he no longer feared harming his friends. He decided to use the blood sacrifice once more, and the female demon grew anxious. She summoned the demon and pulled Nguyen back into the arena. He climbed onto its neck, striking it once and resisting the bloodlust of the sacrifice. The female demon noticed this and used a heart-restraining technique, causing Nguyen to experience an illusion of the day his father was killed by her. Despite feeling helpless, his father's teachings helped him overcome the bloodlust, and he awakened the power of the twin swords. He met Tai Thien and received an explanation from him about how to use the true power of the twin swords. Afterward, he inherited his techniques, and the female demon was forced to confront the demon. He then struck a blow that defeated the demon and approached her, but she controlled Tu Tang to fend him off. She continuously directed Tu Tang to attack Nguyen, and he couldn't retaliate against his younger brother. He could only block the attacks, but he still got hit repeatedly and fell. Later, she intended to finish him off, but Nguyen regained consciousness and restrained his younger brother. Seizing this opportunity, she used a technique similar to their father's to bury both brothers at once. However, Nguyen chose to save his younger brother and ended up buried alone. Yet, her recent actions awakened the true power of Tu Tang. He severed the control wires himself and unlocked Tai Thien Dai Tana's power. While she was still in shock, Tu Tang struck her with a long staff, completely incinerating her soul. Tu Tang returned afterward, and the leader could only watch his son depart with a heavy heart. Tianhu's funeral followed, attended by everyone, but Tu Bat suffered the most because she realized her feelings too late. Not long after, the group decided to set out, but they were unsure where to go. Thiat Bang had stopped responding, so the leader directed them to Nui 2D, the origin of the divine race, for more information. The place was now overrun by demons, but the leader could only open a portal to help them part of the way. The rest of the journey, they would have to face on their own. The leader told Tu Bat that this place always welcomed her, hoping she would return someday. She promised to visit Tianhu and then set off on her journey. And that's where the movie ends.